Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everyone, from whenever you're calling in from. I hope we had a fantastic weekend. It's another week for another opportunity, like I always say, for greatness, for good profit, so for another opportunity for us to be better in our trading, at our trading. So, like I always say, the most important thing is for us to constantly improve ourselves, do better, add more value to ourselves, read more, study more. It's not just about the money now, because if you do not have a very solid account, a very solid capital, in the areas of 50,000, 100,000, 1 million, I would say that you are just starting out. So whatever you have now is for you to just use to um, learn. Whatever you have right now, you can't really, I wouldn't say at this level, that is advisable for you to throw in all your money, in this business. Just learn as much as you can. Look at it as if you're in uni, from your first years. For some people that have 4 years program, 5 years program, 2 years program. In your first year, you don't start out trying to start using what you went to study in school to work. Sometimes you have to sit down and really get to understand. Let's say, for instance, you're going in to learn, to study to become a lawyer or a doctor, or whatever it is that you're studying in for. You spend the first few years trying to understand. In fact, you spend the whole year, whole time, school year, trying to understand the craft, what it entails, what you need to learn, and everything. And when you finish that, you have some placement, maybe some placement during the time or after, to get the experience before you can begin to get the return on investment for that program that you went for. So it's the same thing with forex. So you have to spend the time to understand, to learn this craft, to just dig deep, just find out what you search as much as you can, do as much as you can, just to be able to understand, to learn it. It pays dividend in the long run. It's not an investment that you reap in the short term. If it is when you start trying to do that, that you find out that you lose a lot of money, you get frustrated, and sometimes you want to quit because your expectations are too high. you know so you need to spend the time that you have now studying, because if you don't spend this time studying, you'll be spending longer time. If you're spending the time now to make the money, if your focus, your attention is the money, you'll spend longer time before you can really understand this. But let your attention and focus be about the knowledge, about the skill that you're going to acquire. I like to share this as an analogy. If you're going to cut down a tree, you don't go there with a blunt axe. You need to go there with a very sharp one. First of all, spend the time sharpening the axe till it becomes sharp enough. Because if you go with a blunt axe, what tends to happen is that you apply a lot of effort, and it takes you longer time to be able to cut down that tree. But when you go there with a spend the time sharpening your axe, by the time you go to try to cut down the tree, you find out you probably just need to apply just a few blows, and it will take you shorter time, and the tree will fall. You understand what I'm saying? So spend the time sharpening your access, spend the time understanding what this business is all about, getting it. You can never know so much about it. There are so many people that are up there that are still reading, still studying, still understanding. Remember, you're fighting against corporate bodies, governments, and countries. So therefore, you have to try as much as possible to see how to think the way they do, to try to see if you can understand the market the way they understand the market. I don't want to spend too much time on that. Just thought I should just drop that knowledge before we begin. Now, if you look at my screen right now, you can look at the news releases that we have, the high impact news releases. I always filter out the other ones, the medium and the low impact news releases. It seems we have news every day of the week, from Monday down to Friday. See red folders all over the place. In fact, from Monday to Friday, I think the USD, we have the US news, US dollar news almost every week, except for Wednesday now. As you can see, Wednesday we have all NZD news. So just be on the lookout for this news. We have rates news here and there, speeches here and there, Monday to Friday. So I believe this week is going to be very volatile week. So we'll see some really good moves in the market. So yeah, I have good expectations for what this week is going to provide. So straight up, just go straight to our charts and just look at what I'm going to try to limit the number of charts that I'm going to do today, because I know I'm still going to send out the screenshots for us. So first of all, let's just see what USD CAD. I had to move the goalpost for USD CAD because I don't think it's ready to go up yet. So I just did that expanding triangle. Is it expanded triangle they call it now? Yeah. Um, so look at that. I believe that what's it called now? USD CAD might still drop, but if what I tried to do was to look at it on the smaller time from the H4, as you can see, it has this channel, or can I call it? Yeah, I think a wedge. Can call it a wedge. Let me see now. Yeah, I can call it a wedge. So it kept bouncing off this trend line. Every time it came to that trend line, it bounced, came close to it here, bounced, came to it, bounced, came to it, bounced. So that tells me that what is currently happening is, I think I'm going to use the annotation to instead, if I can find it. Okay, yeah, that's the one. So that tells me that what this is going to do is that it's going to go up and probably bounce on that and then come back down. So now I'm gonna be looking, for me, if I were you, I wouldn't even bother trading this except you want to drop down to your smaller time frame and then look for an entry around this level. Let me put that. Okay, I've already have that drawn out. Look for an entry at this level here. So, but if you look at it, look at the journey to the top. It's not that. Let me see how many pips to the top from if we were to enter here. Okay, not bad for some scalping. So you can just take it either there or here, or 40 pips, you know. So what are you looking for there? You're looking for let's just take this out, little drawings. So what you're really looking for there is for this move. You're looking for this move here, looking for this to go up here, retest that level, and then you can buy at that point back to this place. So what you want to do, maybe you drop down to your 30 minutes or 1 hour, 15 minutes, and look for that up and retest of that level that you can buy there down to this place for your 40 pips. You know, but if that happens, if that doesn't happen, then price is definitely going to keep coming down, and then you see a retest here, and then we're taking it back to that, to the bottom of that channel that we created. So just be on the lookout for that move. So that's USD CAD. Straight up, let me see if I can find anything on the, if I go higher to the daily. Yeah, it's the same thing. But if, for instance, that doesn't happen, you know, but like if you look at it on the daily, like right now, you can already see that giant engulfing candle. You know, you can already see that giant um, bearish engulfing candle. I know how it is when you see that giant engulfing candles like that. Wait for a pullback to about 50% or thereabout. This has already made it. So if you are in here, maybe this would have really, yeah, this is a win for you anyway. You probably will have been in a good position to take this trade, the higher time frame trade. I would have been in a good place. But then again, because it's so close to this trend line, I would be wary, you know. So if you entered, you should be in profit. If you entered at that 50%, somewhere around here, should be in profit, because that's already like 40 something. Yeah, 40 pips should be in profit, you know. So, but if that breaks above, means, but I know that your stop loss will probably be somewhere around here. So you should still be in good place. You know, you wouldn't want to put your stop loss anywhere but here, because that's the highest, the previous high. You know, so it will come in, bounce off here, you know, and then return back down. So just look at it though. It's really nice. Engulfing, bearish engulfing pullback, and then you enter. But then we are really looking for it to break below here again. Let me just do that before I go. We're looking for it to break below here. So if you're not there, or maybe you can look for another entry and then take your trade down. Okay, so that's that one. Don't want to waste time. Next one, NZD. In fact, all of these ones that we're looking at for the past been trading these guys for the past how many days now? Since last week, really. It's last 2 weeks actually. So took an entry somewhere around here, went in, retraced, and came in, slammed that TP. Now, I had to move this goal post again. It was somewhere around here, but you see, because I still have highs here, I have high here, I have high here, so maybe this could be because nobody can really tell what price is going to do if this is the final move that he wants to do before. Because really, what we are all, in fact, not just me, everyone is waiting for is this move to the upside. But I'm even waiting for it to go back to the top here, to that 74 200 level. As you can see, I'm just waiting for that move. Why am I looking for that move? Because if I go to my higher time frame, you can clearly see, let me see if I can take this out of the way. You can clearly see that as a major support level. If I give you on the monthly, you can see it. Price bounced off, drop, bounced off, fake out, and came back in. You know, bounced off, drop, and then broke out of it. Retested, bounce, retested, bounce, retested, bounce, came down, retest, came in again, broke out, break in, retested, and then dropped, retested. That same level was a strong level where price has been going in and out of. So retested, drop, retested, drop, retested, dropped. So right now, if price comes in, it's definitely probably going back. This is a key level that we think price, because it's a strong support, resistance, support and resistant level. So we'll see price going all the way from there. Let me draw that line again. All the way from there to this top. I think the whole of 2007, 2019 may be a good, you know, trading year for us. So that's almost 800, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Yep. Yeah, 790. Yeah, 800 pips. Yeah, so be on the lookout for that move. But I'm not sure if it's ready yet. But if it is, the only way we'll know is if it breaks out completely. I see that rejection here. That's giving me a sign that it's not ready yet. So, but if you drop down to your smaller time frame, you can already see seems like a pullback, to continue to the upside. So, but whatever be the case, just be watchful. What you're looking for. This would be a good place to actually take that trade, because you've seen that breakout, pull back, and then pull back into a retest of that trend line. So it should be. But then I can't really jump in on this trade until there's no confirmation. If I go on my higher time frame now, I don't see any engulfing candle, bearish and bullish engulfing candle. I can even see this, what's this called now? I think that's a shooting star, isn't it? A shooting star. So that's telling me that this thing has a tendency to come back down. So that doesn't even give me a confirmation, give me a confirmation for me to come down. On the 4 hour, kind of seems like something gives me this one says the daily says it's coming down. The 4 hour says it's going up. Pull back, retest of trend line, and then bounce. But that means because of that controversy, or can I call it contradictions that I'm seeing, uncertainty, I'm just going to let this be until if I can see maybe probably something like this. If this breaks above this level, retest that level, then I can look for, because then I'll know that it's definitely out of that zone. So I'll look for my buy to the upside, then wait for another retest, and then take it to the moon. You just watch out for that pair. That's NZD USD. Yeah, same thing here. Break above. So you might even want to be a bit cautious. There's no, like I said, it's a learning process. A learning process. The key thing is not about the money. The key thing is the process, is the knowledge, the skill. So I could say, okay, I'm just gonna wait for price to break into this level. That will show me that price has left the downside. Then I wait for retest, and then take me to my 74, or any of these levels for short term, any of these levels for short term trades, short term wins, whichever. Okay, so that's NZD USD. All right, so I move on to Euro odd. In fact, Euro odd has been my pair for the past how many weeks now? Oh, caught that move from here. Yep. Then some of us entered from here. Some of us took it from here. And I think I got it from here or somewhere around here. So I had multiple positions. So it's been feeding us for past few 2 weeks now, thereabout. So now it's coming down. I measured move because of this consolidation that it was for a long time. So this is the final TP area, you know, if this measurement is to be correct, but it's getting close to it, just a few more pips before that. So where are we seeing now? If you look at it on the higher time frame, you can see something. See that move, price came there, bounced, came there, bounced. Now it came down. That's one strategy, broke it. So what may be happening now? Because what you can see, the same thing that you saw, the inverse of what you saw here, you know, is what is forming here. So this is showing signs of rejection, as you can see, and signs of it going back up. So I'm of the opinion that price may just go back to test that place that it broke out of, that line, that trend line, and then continue down to where it's supposed to go to. That's one bias that I have, you know. So if I drop down to the smaller time frame, you can clearly see that could seem like a valid move, because if that is a valuable, that shows some like a an inverse head and shoulder forming. So if that is accurate, then we can see price move back into do that, and then go back up before finally coming back down. Yep. So if you want to scalp on the smaller time frame, you can just take that short buy. But I'm not looking for buys this time around. I just want to see it take me to the promised land, which is this level right here. And then if it breaks that level, you already see where it's going to. Price is coming back down. So that's why I said don't miss these moves. Oh, okay. That was what I wrote. I don't know when I wrote that one. I'm expecting it. I mean, I'm in it anyway, so was a good win for me. Euro odd. What did I write here? Let me see. Okay. Otherwise, price will go back up. Yeah. Okay. So that's I said it's gonna come back to this level, break below it, retest it, and then continue down. But if it doesn't happen, it could do what happened here, test and then go back jump up. So you could just jump test here, come back to that 1.561, and then bounce from there. But I would have made a lot of winning on that level before. So I just come out and check what price does. So that's Euro odd. USD chef. This guy has been playing with our emotions for quite some time now. But we kind of did well with it. So some of us that took that trade from the upside, you guys did well. But now I think we're seeing an ascending triangle, ascending wedge. Let me just see. Can't remember what it is now, but we know how it is. That it normally when you see that ascending wedge, what normally happens is price need breaks to the downside, it goes in, but this is just one touch anyway. Because if so, there's a possibility that price may just go in up again, then probably do again, probably go up again, or maybe come down and go up again before finally dropping. But if general expectation for this space for it to come down, or you could just keep doing this, test again, and then voila, then drop. So, but the downside is what we're all expecting for this space. So I'm not even looking to trade the upside, whatever except maybe I can clearly see some upside confirmation, for me to decide to take that. But if you look at it on the daily, you can see that giant engulfing candle again. I know the rule 50%, and we already see that 50% is pulled back 50%. If you enter this trade, this would have been a good win for you as well. This would have been a good position for you to be in, because your stop loss probably will have been somewhere around here, and then you stand a chance of but then you also stand a chance of losing it, because if it does what I said it's going to do, they might just pull up a bit, and then but remember the strategies that we gave, it's not set on stone. It's still dependent on what the market does. The market could go and decide to do whatever it wants to do. Like if you look at this is a key area that we expect price to turn from. it's not been able to break out of that zone since 2017. You know, May, is it that May? Yeah, it's not been able to break out of it. And then what did it do? It pushed out of it last week. Sometimes we never expected that to happen. Most of us I had three sell limits. All of them was except one was got me in. The other ones hit stop loss and I lost the trade. So you understand what I mean? So you won't always know what price is going to. Strategy is just to help you to win at the market, but doesn't mean it's the one size fits all. What can I call it? What can I call it? It's the golden, or is it golden grail, or is it holy grail? That's the word I'm looking for forex. Otherwise, if that is what it is, then everyone would win at the market. So it's just you just use it just to see how you can win at the market. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. There's no one that would tell me that they don't lose in the market. If anybody says that they are lying to you, they are deceiving you. They lose in the market. Even the ones that post screenshots of 1 million or 500,000, what have you. If you let them share their stories with you and see how much they've lost as well. So that's another thing you have to put into consideration. People lose in the market as well. There's no one strategy that is one size fits all. That is the answer to all forex problem. So you need to put that into consideration when choosing your strategies anyway. So yeah, that is our trading strategy. Engulfing candle, we see a pullback 50%. Some people can enter on that engulfing candle at the close of that engulfing. If you entered at the close of that engulfing candle, that's still a win for you. I've taken that for total of how much? 49 pips. Yep. If you decided no, that you want to wait till it pulls back, that wouldn't have been bad as well. You would have it will have pulled back and you'll have won 73 or 70 pips. So it's not winning either way, whichever way you choose winning. But I like the idea of seeing a pullback after that the higher time frame engulfing candle. I like to see a pullback, so it offers me a greater risk to reward ratio. Means I don't have to risk too much, because if I entered here, means my stop loss is going to be here, so I'm risking more. But if I enter here, my stop loss is going to be here, I'm risking less. Get what I mean? Let me explain what I mean. If you enter at this point, this is where our stop loss is going to be. Stop loss is going to be like 80 pips, about 2 pips or 3 pips away from the previous high. That's a lot that you're risking just to make how much? 40. In fact, that's not very good to risk, to reward ratio. Now, if I enter at this point now, look at how much I'm risking. Only 57 pips or thereabout, to make how much? 73. So it's still a good risk to reward, 1 to 1 at least. So you get what I mean? So the pullback is always a better entry than entering at the close, but it really depends on you. Some people just want to get the first 20, 30 pips. If you do that, you can still win the trade. So yeah, that's that one. Same thing with that one. Euro USD. It's just this. I'm just waiting. I'm looking for that inverted head and shoulder to form. I said if it misses this level, that we should expect this. This will be the next turning point. So I'm expecting that, because of this is I see this as the previous, the left shoulder. I see this as the head, and I see this coming down as the right shoulder for this to take us to the top side. You know, just kind of go up. It may even go beyond that, but this will be our first TP. So because that's a key area where price had some major reaction. You know, so yeah, wait for that to occur. If that doesn't happen, okay, I see something similar here. I think I'd already marked this from way back. Oops, nope. Yeah, that was something that I marked some time back. So just see that coming down to that level as well and then bouncing. But if that doesn't happen, then it's probably gonna either from here gonna keep going up, you know. So yeah, I'm not really looking to trade this guy for now anyway, so I'm just gonna pass that by. Same thing with NJ, same thing that NU did. So just wait to see what this guy is gonna do. If he's going to keep If it's keep going this before bouncing, then that's your trade. But for me, I'll wait for this trade to come here, retest this level, because that tells me that it's cleared. This level is no more an issue for me. Then, but if that happens and it comes back, I'll still be okay with it, because I took the right decision to have waited for it to break out totally. So that's one thing. But if that doesn't happen, we can see price break back here, then does something like this, and then we can see it back in that level. But it's not set on stone. Just because it's broken out of that channel it's been in doesn't mean that it's ready to go up. So you have to get good confirmation before doing it. Let's see what's the higher time frame saying. Yeah, I can see rejections. You can see perfect hit and drop, hit and drop, hit and drop. But rejection here just tells us that it may not be ready to go up. But be on the lookout. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. What else? Same thing. And yeah, this, I mean, AU, Aussie dollar, this has been in a forever channel. Everyone in the world is looking at this level. Everyone is really waiting for this. Yeah, so manipulation is likely. So this indeed may actually be a manipulation. You see what I mean? Because it's what's it called here? This is a shooting star. Same thing we saw on NU, didn't we? Yeah, same thing. So this might actually be manipulation happening here for price to come back down. This might just be what we're gonna see. Price may just come back into this zone and continue, doing that. But the level that we are sure that we are really looking, that price would is this level right here. This is this bottom right here. Why did I choose that bottom? Let me see. Yeah, okay. Was it that bottom or was it this one? I think this was the one. Okay, either this one because of this low here, or this one because of this low here. So it may come all the way to this level before bouncing, or come all the way to this level before bouncing. So that is if this fails and price needs to come back down. So just be on the lookout. But if that doesn't happen and price succeeds in breaking out, then most definitely we're going to see a breakout. See something like this. Then, excuse me, see something like this, and then we'll see a breakout of here. For me, I think if I'm not in this one yet, if I were you, I would just wait for this to break out and then come to retest this level, and then I can now take my trade, because it still has a long way to go. There's no rush. There's no reason for me to rush. Stay, have this level. You may even go beyond that to, okay, this is the level, the key level. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you still have that 0.81200. How many pips is that if you can get a good entry? That's yeah, more than 900 pips. And I mean, yeah, 920 pips. So there's no rush. I can as well. Might as well just wait to get a good break out of that zone, this level, before I take my trade. So if I wait a little, miss a little pip, a few pips here, yeah, it won't cost me anything. Just let it go. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop there. Okay, just look at this one briefly. We saw this level. I think I was marking this for Luwali one time. I knew said this was going to happen. I'm going to see like some form of pullback here or a shoulder, and then we'll drop, retest that, and then come down. So we kind of saw something similar here. Anyway, wasn't really what I expected, but it was the same way, pullback, sort of form of pullback, and then price dropped. Yeah, wasn't a massive shoulder or pullback before dropping, but it came back up. So I'm still waiting for this to happen. It dropped and came back into that zone. So for this one, to be honest, really, any pair you look at that doesn't give you a clear confidence, a clear information for you to take a trade, don't bother just assuming it is correct. It's better for you to take a high probability trade. If it's confusing, let it go. Go to the next one, even if 1,001 people are taking it on the platform, because you're not trading with them. You're not going to be watching their trades for them with them. They are watching their own trades for themselves. They could just post that. You see that, just because they're taking it doesn't mean you have to take it. Get a clear indication, before you take a trade. Like this is This is questionable because it's all over the place. Came down, came back up. It's just hovering all over here, weeks there. So I'm not sure what this is gonna do. I'm just for me, I'm not gonna take this trade. I prefer to wait for this trade, right? Because it's at the top here. You know, I prefer to wait for this one to see a good breakout than to spend time watching this one. I just let it go. Some of these other trades are better trades to watch, than that GA. So just be on the lookout. Yeah, don't have to trade every pair. I think, yeah, this was another fine one that I was looking at. Yeah, you saw how the moves were happening. That's drop, that's massive channel. Then it dropped and I was telling you guys that this was going to go back, from that probably double top before coming back down. And I was right. As you can see, it's going back up. So it may just actually go back to test this, which will give us a very good up trading. Now if you look at it on the weekly, that strategy again, see, this is like one of the best strategies I discovered. See that bearish engulfing, and see that pullback. This is your trade right there. So if you entered at this point, not a bad idea, because you have a very low risk to reward ratio. Look at the distance. This is where your stop loss would be, and your first TP will be here. But if you enter at this level, at the close of this level, you're risking it, because all of this will be your stop loss. Your risk will be here, your reward will be here. See what I mean? So it's better for you to probably wait for a pullback. Sometimes it won't always happen like that. Sometimes you get a pullback and then it feels like, look at this now. But then this on its own, you already know that this will not hold, because this is in an uptrend. So if you see something like this, don't expect this to come down, because already this is in an uptrend. This is in a downtrend. So if you see something like this is a clear indication that, okay, this might keep coming down. You get what I mean? You see something like this pulls back, that's telling you that it's still going to come down, because as long as it's below these levels, these highs, these higher highs, you still know that you still have chance of this thing coming back down. Remember, reversal, price is going up, forms a head and shoulder, and then reverses. On the left shoulder, breaks it, comes back and retests it. So you can see it on the weekly. So this is what we're trying to trade now, and this is the measured move. This neckline, the head to the neckline is the move from here to here as well, which is what we're looking at, and it coincide with a supply level here, demand level here. I'm getting tired. I've been out. So I forgot to apologize. Really, I apologize today for not having it earlier. I'm so sorry that I didn't have this earlier. It has been a very busy weekend for us. So, but I thought I would not let this day pass without dropping this weekly analysis for everyone to just see before we go on to our chats. So, thank you guys for listening in. I'm gonna do the chats and send it to the platform. I may not do it today, this morning either, because I'll probably sleep through London session anyway. I'm so tired, but I'll definitely throw some through the chats in during the New York session, hopefully, and then we can have a look and then share your own analysis as well. Sorry for making this a bit longer than normal. Have a fantastic trading week. God bless you.